The game social released the 14 September 2023 about Age of Sigmar, the update about the Battlescrol Andtor. I want to remember you that I'll bring only the new things that have been brought, because I verified and the previous one are still the same. There's not been any deleting and there's been not something changed about the previous ones. So in the description you can find about that video that's still valid, so that you can see an analysis about the new things that has been brought. Here we have the article about the warhammer community where you can find it, so you can find a sort of summary of what we can find then, and also at the end the link about where to download. Remember that anyway you can access to this using the warhammer community in the section of Age of Sigmar. In the download section you can find anyway the updated Battlescroll, so there is not such a problem. Anyway, now we go to see about the Battlescrol Andtor and see the changes. So that here are the changes, and remember the link about the previous ones so that you can have all the ones. Then we can see about the Battlescroll Tactic of Andor, updated one to September 2023. Here we have the unit coherency, the hero command phase ability rally, the lookout cert, and the universal artifact power art and tone that are still the same that we've seen previously. Then we have about the changes for the General Handbook 23-24. We have about the spell Rupture of the Lore of the Primal Force that has been changed to Rupture is a spell that has a casting value of 10 and a range of 18 inch. If successfully cast, resolve one of the following effect. The first one, pick one enemy incarnate within range and visible to the caster and inflict D3 mortal wounds on the unit bonded to that incarnate. Then that incarnate immediately loses a power level to a minimum of 1 and becomes wild. So it's really quite crazy this thing, because it means that you can damage indirectly the one about casting, so the one that it's the mage that is bounded to the incarnate. At the same time you can download the part about downgrade the part about the incarnate itself as power and make it become wild, so it can attack even its own unit, the former unit. So it's really quite amazing. Then we have pick one friendly endless spell within range and visible to the caster that was summoned by an enemy wizard. Inflict D3 mortal wounds to that enemy wizard. Then that endless spell is dispelled. This it's really quite nice because it's a way to dispel an endless spell without having to use an unbinding. So you have still the unbinding option, and at the same time you are able to damage the wizard self. So using such lore of primal force can be really quite nice. There's been also a change about the merciless blizzard of the lore of the primal frost that see the following sentence to be added to the rule. So the spell cannot be cast by a unit that was set up or moved earlier in this phase. So that unit has to be stay still. It's okay. They have about no reward without risk, feedback overload. That see change to when a wizard hero is lean. Before removing that model from a play, roll a dice. On a 4+, the wizard explodes as their magical energies are released uncontrollably. Each unit within a number of inches equal to the wound characteristic of that wizard. So it means that higher in wounds as the wizard, higher it's the range that it damage, suffer D3 mortal wounds, raw separately for each unit. And remember that this does not specify for or your own, so all the unit. Then about the endless spell Malevolent Maelstrom Morbid Detonation that has the change the last paragraph to when this endless spell is removed from play, if the dice beside it is a 6, this endless spell explodes. When it explodes, each unit within 12 inch of this endless spells suffer these 3 mortal wounds. Wizard heroes suffer 3 mortal wounds instead of D3. And remember that also this one it's about each unit, so 4 and your ones. They have about the endless spell Umbra's Purported Arcane Passage that see the change about the last sentence too. Another spell set up in this manner does not count as having moved but cannot move until the next hero phase. So really quite useful one. Then we can move on and we can go to see about the Ganges Alliances Order that see a change about the Stormcast Tenet that see an additional part, so that add the following battle tactics. So this is quite important because add options to the Stormcast Titanas. So secure the battlefield. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if there are any friendly Stormcast Titanas unit wholly within each larger quarter of the battlefield and more than 6 inches from all enemy units. This could be quite intriguing to do because it's not so difficult, but it's not so simple, so it can be quite nice. They have new ones about the Luminate Realm Lord, about the Great Nation of Immetrica, so that change the Mountain Realm rule to the Enduring as Rock ability of friendly Immetrica allied units, worsen the rank characteristic of attacks that target those units by 2 instead of 1 to a minimum of 0. So it can be really quite crazy thing because it means that you can save quite a lot with your armor eventually. There are other about the Luminate Lord. The other one is Enduring as Rock that we have seen before. So when this unit is a target by an attack, worsen the rank characteristic of that attack by 1 to a minimum of 0. And Deep Thinkers, where remove that cannot be modified from the rule, in the example, change to once per battle. So remember that it's only once. In your hero phase, when this unit attempts to cast its first spell in that phase, it is automatically cast with a casting roll of 9. Do not roll any 2d6 and it can still be unbound. So not bad at all, not so great because anyway it's once per battle only. Then we had new things about the cities of Sigmar, no, and remember that as we released the new city of Sigmar Battletome, the Doctors of Cain here, and the Idonate Deepkin, where you can find the Futan, change a Bloodthirsty Shiver rule to you can include a Bloodthirsty Shivers in your army, page 96, if the modified hit roll for an attack made by a unit in Bloodthirsty Shivers is 6. The attacker scores 2 hits on the target instead of 1, so it explodes the damages. So it's not bad about the Idonate Deepkin. Then we can see a change about the Grand Alice's Chaos, when before we had only the Blades of Corn, now we have something related about the Magotin of Nargol, where we had that we had to add a battle tactic again. When it's to add such things, it's always much welcome. So those quibble children, pick an objective wholly outside your territory. You complete this battle tactic at the end of the turn if you control that objective and any friendly Rotpingus unit and any friendly Nagel Demon unit contest that objective. Sincerely, this it's not bad at all because okay, it's outside of your territory. It requires 2 different specific units because it requires units, at least one of Rotpingus and one of Narcol Demons. But it's not a problem because anyway it could be a way to have a battle tactics, so you can choose when you don't need such ones and you can go to contest that objective, so it's really quite nice. Then we have about the Scaven, where we had to add again a battle tactic. So we have Flee. You complete this battle tactics at the end of the turn if any friendly Scaven battle line units retreated this turn and any friendly Scaven heroes retreated this turn. I think that this it's easy to do because I think that it's Scaven behavior really, so really quite easy. They have about the Gracier on Screaming Bell, Plague Priest on Plague Furnace, that the late they pushed into the battle rule, okay. They have about the Slaves to Darkness, that see the Kabbalist Blasphemous Ritual change the second paragraph to, in addition, if you carry out the Drawn Power heroic action with a Kabbalist hero, you can immediately carry out the same heroic action with each of other Kabbalist hero that has the Eye of the God keyword and that is within 3 inches of the first. So it's not bad, it's up to you to decide if you are going to have such heroic action eventually. Then we go to about the Grand Alliance test that has seen quite a lot of additional things. The first it's about the Night Hunt. We have Fright or Flight that change to when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if one or more objectives are being contested by friendly Night Hunt units and there are no enemy units within 6 inches of any friendly Night Hunt unit that are contesting an objective. Sincerely, this could be really quite intriguing, but at the same time you have to pay attention because the one that you are going to contest, they have to be really completely free. You don't have to have any other unit of your opponent that it's close to you. Then we have about the Ostroboripas, that it's about Catacross, the Mortal of the Necropolis, the Mortar of Sacrament and the Bushshipper abilities. So about the option about healing, so this is quite important. Change the last paragraph if that unit is an Immortis Guard or a Necropolis Stalker unit, you can heal up to 3 wounds allocated to that unit, or if no wounds has been allocated to that unit, roll a dice. On a 3+, you can return 1 Slay Models to that unit with 4 wounds allocated to it. And you could ask, what is the problem here? Is that it say 4 wounds. So this is the difference, because these models, the Immortis Guard and the Necropolis Stalkers, has 5 wound. So it means that you can't combine more than once, because you'd need to make it come back with 4 wounds, then here again, and then you can try with another one to make such thing. So it's really quite crazy. Moreover, if you think about the Bushshipper abilities, because you have the artifact that let you use that twice. So it means that in some way it's better to have 2 different units instead of 1 bigger, because otherwise, for example, with the Bushshipper ability with the artifact, you can make it the first time resurrect on a 3+ with 4 wounds, then use the artifact that it's on dice anyway, and heal the remaining wounds, and then you can proceed with the other to heal this one. So it's something that you have really to pay attention about. There we have about the Sublight Rewards that has this thing that has been changed, and it's really quite important. It's about the lore of the vampires. Change, bring Gale. Spirit Gale. So here we have that Spirit Gale, it's a spell that has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick up to 3 different enemy units on the battlefield to suffer 1 mortal wounds. And before it was all the unit on the battlefield of the opponent. If the modified casting roll for this spell is 9+, this spell is not unbound. Pick up to 6 different enemy units on the battlefield to suffer 1 mortal wound instead. So it has been really quite decrease in power, such thing, because before it was to make all the opponent unit on the battlefield, and then with the 9+, you could make the second time such thing. But sincerely, better such, because anyway, it's still way to target 3 different units on all the battlefield, and will press anyway 6. So it's not bad, and sincerely, I always thought that before Spirit Gale was too much compared to the other lores and the other spells for both the Super Gavors and the other armies. Then about the current alliance destruction that has seen no change at all, and then we can see an important change about the points. And here we have really to pay attention, because we had the Adrian Deakin that has seen quite a lot of decreasing point about a lot of things. Then we had the Seraphon with the Slam Mask that has seen an increase of point, but sincerely it's perfectly justified, so no problem. The Stomach has Tenant that see a continued decrease on point of a lot of units, and even quite big, so okay. Then we can see that we had the Adonant of Slanesh that has seen both an increase and decrease of point, and subdue decide if it's really interesting. Had the Margotin of Nargo that seen again decrease of point of a lot of units, mainly the charters. How about the Scaven that has seen quite a lot of decrease of point too. Same for the Slave to Darkness. But what I'm more interested in, it's about the Night Town that see again decrease of point, and not a few ones. Moreover, Lady Olinda has seen quite a lot a big decrease on point. About the Osterbo Reapers, sincerely, Catacos, for how it is used now, I perfectly agree that has been increased on point. I don't completely understand about the Cavalry of the Fridays, because I don't find them so great, but I'm really jumping and having fun, because has been decreased the points about the Gothic Harvester that I remember you have seen a change about the rules in the Fox, and so it's much more, it can be even decreased more, but it's much less usable than before. The Mortar Guard that I always thought that for 150 points was too much for that unit, that it's okay, amazing, but not so amazing. And I'm quite good about also the Mortar Crawler, because if you want to throw up something about having such decrease of point, it's much welcome, so quite nice. Instead, the Super Gravels has seen an increase of point in a lot of unit, and sincerely about this, I think that some are justified. For example, that work at zombies, I think that maybe a bit too much, maybe 20 points, not 30, but okay. But also the other ones, they're okay. Torgilus the Chamberlain, sincerely, I thought that it was really a free one based on how much it costed. Still, okay, they suffered quite a bit. I don't understand why the Viking and the Viking on Skeleton still has seen the increase of point, because sincerely, I don't think that they're worth such thing. But okay. About the skeletons, the Deferato skeletons, I can understand, not completely, but okay. So anyway, they are justified, so it's not so problematic about. And sincerely, I think that it's really quite useful. So anyway, these are the changes. I remember you that if you are interested about seeing the other rules, I made a video about that, it's in the description. So eventually let me know if you are agreeing with such changes, you would have thought something different, or also about the points, how it is, because I think that it's really quite intriguing about the changes, and I quite like what has been brought on. So from that mode, it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.